5 Premier Section VAFA football. It's Old Xavs taking on University Blacks. Both teams taking their positions on the ground. Umpire has the ball in hand. So John Canis, Ken Petrucco, one word tip from you. Who wins this afternoon?
Xavs.
Yeah, I might go Xavs as well, but Black's got a pretty good side in.
So Xavs for me as well. Matt Hill,
I'm
who do you
go
like?
Blacks.
Blacks. So we've got 2 and 2. So 96.5 RFM football to get us underway. Here's Matthew Hill.
So Steedman for Blacks and Shaw for Xaverians in the ruck, and Xaverians win the first tap. Shaw gets it down, and then a pack forms, and we'll have a secondary bounce in the middle of University Oval. Wrapped up in the tackle was Hogan for Blacks. So the second bounce comes out via Xaverians, and then blasting it for Blacks was Cruz, who kicks it inside the 40-metre arc, 2 against 1 there in the right forward pocket.
Tackle.
And a good tackle applied.
I think that's Robbins under there, man.
And it looks as though the umpire's going to come in and ball it up Old Grandstand side of the ground, with University Blacks, the home team, kicking to the right-hand side of the ground as we look at it. Can they scrounge something out here? Xaverians with a loose handball from Mark Johnston goes through for the first behind. A rush behind to the home side. University Blacks one behind. Xaverians yet to score, Chris.
So Zab's working to the right back pocket. They now clear defensive 50. Good kick. Finds Lewis Tiernan on the right half-back flank, right underneath the somewhat petite-sized scoreboard here at Melbourne University Oval.
That's been kind.
So he goes with the left boot up the line. Uncontested mark, though, taken at the back by Batten. So he comes back to Steedman. He squares and goes inboard to Quayle. Blacks run through the middle of the ground, chopped off though, and Zabs has got it. So Simiopolis has got it. Defensive side of the centre. Lex to play off. Simiopolis gets a handball to a teammate. Some run going here from Zabs in the middle of the ground. They've run themselves into trouble. Got it here on the outer side is Bruno. Handball back to a teammate who gets a short pass to a teammate at right half forward, and Zabs are away.
Yes, it looks as though the Beethams are getting involved nice and early, and then a long-range kick is going to find Handley. It was a good kick from Johnston, Clay Johnston from Old Xaverians, just inside the arc, and this man in Matt Handley, who kicked 4 goals for his team last week, is going to go back and shoot for goal. In fact, the Goss and Handley combination inside the forward 40, if you like, for Old Xaverians, scored 7 of their 17 goals last week. So the big fella who they'll be targeting all day. Matt Handley comes in from 20 metres out, only a slight angle straight over the goal umpire's head, and it's the first goal for the visitors, Old Xaverians, with a 6-pointer. They lead, Melbourne Uni 1 behind, and we've been going around about 2.5 minutes, thanks to Bendigo Private Banking Services.
Well, he certainly has a big presence there, big chopper Handley, and I don't know what it is about that red jumper, but it is making him look really big. But strong mark, good finish, and he's a champ. Good start from Xavs. Bit of an intercept there off the kick of Quayle in midfield, and Blacks were hard-pressed defending from there.
So back in the middle, Steedman and Shaw go at it. Steedman flies high. Shaw knocks it down. Zabs get it at ground level. Bruno bouncing around, trying to pick it up. Gets a handball on it now. It's off to a teammate though, who couldn't take clear possession of it. Shaw crashing through with the footy. Great tackle. Umpire says held to him.
Tackle big short of the ground then, Beed Mahon. It was good gutsy stuff.
So Beed Mahon, the skipper for Blacks, leading by example. Comes out here to Quayle, wrapped up in a fierce tackle. Jeez, it's tough in close at the moment.
The 2 involvements from Quayle both times. That time he went back into the tackle instead of running away, maybe. He's got it again now.
So Steedman, great tap down to Quayle. Kicks to right forward pocket. Double-fisted defensive spoil from Zabs, and they're happy to see it out of bounds and over the line, Lewis Tiernan.
And the other one was a little error he made sort of just in the centre square where he put the ball back into the traffic with his kick and it got intercepted.
So it's at right half forward for Blacks. The throw in, nice deep one. Steedman, Shaw works his way to the front. Won the tap, going in hard was Sharp for Uni Blacks, but he's wrapped up. And also at the bottom of the pack was Mahon. That won't be the first pack he sees himself on the bottom of today, and there'll be a ball up about 30 metres out from the home side's goal. Beetham wrapped up in a tackle for Old Xaverians. It's Caden, and another ball up in the same position. Ball up. Steedman wins it. And now Uni Black's trying to scrounge it out. Quayle on an angle from 40 metres out. Tough position to kick goals from there. And he's just missed the lot. Goes out of bounds on the full.
Should have really done better with that.
So first quarter brought to you by Sky High Mount Dandenong. It is 1 goal to the visitors, 1 straight goal, 1 behind to the home side. Chris Venus.
So 96.5 at RFM football. Travelled almost 5 minutes in this opening quarter. VAFA Premier Section clash. It's 2nd versus 7th. Xavs 2nd place. They take it from a left back pocket to the right back pocket. Spearing pass just marked by a diving Old Xavs player in Dan Noonan. So he's got a right half back. Goes with the left foot across the ground. Finds a teammate. Well done here by Blacks. They're holding Xavs up. Finding it difficult to clear the defensive 50. So Xavs poke it up the line. Not a great kick. Well, missed the intended target, but slipped over the back, and Xavs are away. They stream through the middle of the ground. Kick inside 50. 1-on-1. Handley's got it.
Who's that on him? That's Tom Chalkley. He's got his hands full.
Handful there.
Yeah, he's just a bit undersized for him. But, mind you, they've kicked the ball beautifully to Matty Handley twice. And
their build-up both times.
Beautiful transition, yeah, through the ground was indeed. And their kicking skills are looking at really highly skilled.
So Simiopolis it was, a terrific kick to Handley. So he'll kick from around just worse than a 45-degree angle, outer side of the ground, kick on its way, holds up in the breeze, hasn't made the distance. Oh, almost a mark on the goal line. Yes, paid.
Gee, it did hold up, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's the gap in between Queens and Newman. There's a driveway there that goes straight under the College Crescent.
So mark taken by Denton in the goal square, goes back, kicks it through. So Xavs go to 2 straight 6. They lead University Blacks 1 behind. Travelled 6.5 minutes in the first quarter. Brought to you by Sky Home Mount Dandenong and that scoreboard, thanks to Bendigo Private Banking Services.
Good piece of play there from Denton to take up the front position with the ball
it was.
pulling up.
It looked like he was just trying to get it back into play with his first touch, didn't it? That was what I thought, and I took my eye off it, and then he obviously got a second grab at it.
Tackling's a feature so far in this quarter from Xavs. They've been very, very good at it.
I have.
Shaw won the tap that time for Old Xaverians, and that ball isn't going anywhere. There is a number 1 out there for Old Xaverians who we didn't have initially. Jake Williams it is.
Right.
Ball up, and at the bottom of that pack we have Mahon, and again, so another stoppage. It's been a feature so far of the first 7 or 8 minutes. Shaw over the top, won the tap that time. Blasted out of the pack by Drysdale. Gets it towards centre half forward for Uni Blacks, but only as far as Noonan for Old Xavs. Noonan with the quick offload. Gets it to Johnston as they work it around the back there through his mate and his namesake in Johnston. Kicks it towards the outer side of the ground. Hard up against the boundary line. They just able to work it through Simiopolis, and then the kick-in board has been chopped off by Drysdale. So Drysdale is going to rack up 2 possessions in the space of a couple of moments. They're working it around centre wing here, University Blacks. The big fellow in Alistair Robbins takes on his man. Little wobbly pass towards the scoreboard side. In the bottom of the pack there is Leahy, and was able to dispose of it, but only as far as Old Xaverians. And Johnston, in Mark Johnston, flirts with the boundary line, but they do have possession. It is Esmond Prounce who has it on the outer side.
Wonderful delivery of the ball again.
Beautifully, yeah.
So Esmond Prowse again, kick holds up. Oh, Xavs have got it though, falls out the back. Look to go inside 45. Goss picks it up off his bootlaces. Good handball to a teammate in Tiernan. Tiernan's on the left boot, brilliant. Plenty of space, and finds a teammate.
You're enjoying your side today, Kenny?
Matt Douglas kicks into Handley. Just manhandled, was he? Umpire says yes. And he's got the free kick about 30 metres out. About sort of 10 or so metres in from the left forward pocket boundary line.
Well, at least he forced a contest that time, even if it turned out to be illegal. But he's providing some headaches for the Blacks' defence.
So Handley, the leading goal scorer in the competition, coming into the round with 16. He's kicked 1 already this afternoon. So that'll be 17 for the season. Inside the 50 metres arc, kick on its way, looking good, sneaks it through. So Handley kicks his second. He's kicked 18 now in season 2016, and Xavs have dashed away to an early lead. They lead 3 straight, 18. Blacks 1 behind. That's on the Bendigo Private Banking Service scoreboard, and we've travelled 9.5 minutes opening quarter thanks to Sky High Mount Dandenong.
And the real worry, Kenny, is that Blacks haven't looked like scoring. I mean, they're just getting chopped off across half back with ease, and the ball's coming back at great pace and with precision. Only really that out of bounds on the full from Quayle.
Shaw taps it down to Bruno to Beetham, who handballs it quickly towards the outer side. There's a foot race. Prowse for Old Xavs, dashes onto it and then darts the kick to a teammate who grabbed it on his chest, and then his kick was smothered. Williams was going to interject but couldn't quite pick it up. Beetham dodging, weaving, does the shimmy, did it well, kicks it inside the forward 50, no mark taken. With Uni Blacks going for the fist, a free ball, neutral ball, 25 metres out on an angle. Old Xavs go in. Chasing it down was Margin. As he kept it in, he has. He's been able to paddle it back into play, but only as far as the agency of Cruz for University Blacks. And then a looping handball. Drysdale put his teammate under pressure, dispossessed by Old Xavs. Opportunity for them about 60 metres out from goal. They send it back in towards the middle of the ground where Josh Douglas has it. He can slow it down now in the centre circles. He does so, kicks it towards centre half forward. In the hands then of Williams, who kicks it towards Handley, who did it well. Took the mark about 25 metres out.
Too big a job for Chalkley, the big fella.
Gee, Tom Williams, it was good spotting, wasn't it? Because he was able to turn around on a dime and he found his man very quickly on the lead. It takes a good lead, but it also takes a good kick.
The delivery by foot has been exceptional this quarter by Xavs. Fantastic.
So Handley comes in about 30 metres out, slight angle, but he doesn't miss them. So already he's going to be a real danger. And as our man on the scoreboard just wanders over and puts a 4 on the board, 4 straight goals, 24. And the home side, the University Blacks, find themselves under the pump early, 1 behind.
Well, challenging situation here for Matt for Uni Blacks. They just need to stem the bleeding a little bit, don't they? After only 12 minutes, almost travelled 12 minutes in this first quarter, they're already 23 points down.
And we've already seen that last week, when they went down to St Kevin's, they actually got inside their forward 50 more times than their opposition, but couldn't connect that on the scoreboard. We've already seen that. They've been inside their arc a few times. They've only registered the 1 behind, Chris.
So quick kick finds Batten. Batten goes inside 45. No one's able to take it. Blacks have got it just on the 45. Chain of handballs. Standing start. The kick was from Cruz. It was smothered. Goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. Left half forward for Uni Blacks. Probably only their second attacking foray for the match. So travelled 12.5 minutes in this opening quarter. VAFA Premier Section football. It's University Blacks 1, Xaverians 24. Decisive win down by Blacks, but it falls to Shaw. Dynan goes off half back. Oh, finds a teammate who dashes away. Clay Johnson has 1 bounce. Runs to 55. Kick on its way to Goss. Marks in the goal square and strolls in and kicks Zab's 5th. So Zabs go to 5 straight 30. They lead by 29 points over University Blacks, 1 behind. Travelled 13 minutes opening quarter thanks to Sky High Mount Dandenong.
Yep, they're playing great footy. Xavs, just concise, fantastic ball movement from halfback and all over the top of them at the moment.
And it's Josh Douglas wearing number 1.
No. Corley Beetham.
Oh.
Corley Beetham, okay. So not number 13, number 1.
Yep. Back into the middle of the ground.
Okay, so Uni Blacks win the tap that time, and it comes out to the running Quayle, who's got some pace. Kicks it towards right half forward, but no mark taken. In fact, the mark was taken, but it was by a defensive player from Old Xavs in Anderson, who offloads, and now they work it outside the arc. Anderson with a second possession in a matter of strides, gets it towards the near side, and a real scrap here. Margin just takes the ball off the opposing player, and in the end, he's been pinged for holding the ball
when he kicked it in a tackle.
Steve Flight has got the ball for Uni Black, sends it long inside the forward 40, and then it deflects off the fists with Douglas in the race for it for Old Xavs, but it goes over the boundary line in front of the old grandstand, about 20 metres around from the home side's goal. So it is the big fellow Stedman, Shaw at the back. Here's Bruno for Old Xavs. Oh, just his handball was smothered. There's Uni Black's players everywhere here. Little shot at goal from Mahon. And in the end, it's been chopped off by Old Xavs. They're going to try and work it out here. And again, we see Uni Blacks unable to capitalise on the scoreboard. Couple of changes in front of us here for Old Xavs. Beetham comes on. Off is Douglas, and also coming off is Caden Beetham.
It's Matt Douglas coming off.
So, ball in the hands of Uni Blacks at a left half forward. Didn't catch what that was for, but man on the mark just inside the arc here. So he's got it in his hand, is Tyrone Bean. So John Canis arcs here, what distance?
45.
45, okay. So man on the mark probably at 43 metres out. So Bean will have to kick this.
I don't think he's got the turn.
Every bit of 45 metres, just outside the arc. Oh, it's a finger-breaking mongrel punt right on the ball in dispute, right on the goal line. Beats there, can't get it. So is Lockie Dornoff, and comes off hands, go through for one behind. So Uni Blacks doubled their score. They go to 2 behind. Xavs 5 straight 30. Travelled 16 minutes opening quarter thanks to Sky Home and added on.
Both behinds to Uni Blacks have been rushed. Well, they're under a lot of pressure.
Troy Johnston kicks it outside the arc. Old Xavs work it now. Little handball from Johnson. Now they run through the middle. Mark taken by Prowse. It must have been off hands because he was tackled, and the umpire wraps himself, and it'll be a ball up on the outer side. So the umpire comes in, and immediately to the ground went Williams, who replaces Shaw in the ruck for now. Uni Blacks with a little handball, but to no one in particular. A real scrap for it, but taken high over there. They'll get a free kick, Blacks. And it will be going to Flight, is it? Although he's palmed it off.
Curnow.
Curnow's going to take it instead. So Curnow.
Hello, Tom, if you're listening in.
Kicks it right into the middle to Dess. This is Brendan Dess, right in the middle of his home ground here, Melbourne University. And that's a wobbly, awful-looking kick, really, but it got the distance. Picked up by Dynan from Old Xavs. He was ripped off it. Now Curnow, who's run up the field, throws it on the left boot. Here's a chance for the home team. Might be their first real crack at goal. Tom Sharp's marked it. Tom Sharp, he's on a bit of an angle, but as John Canis explained earlier, this is not as dramatic as what usual forward pockets can be.
No, that's an easy shot from there.
It's about 20 metres out, maybe not even that. Is this their first goal? Yes, it is.
So a much needed one, it must be said, Matt.
Indeed it is, because the visitors, Old Xavs, 5 straight goals, 30. And Uni Blacks are now 1-2-8, thanks to Bendigo Private Banking Services.
Well, good play from Huey Curnow in the middle of the ground there. Got a quick kick and actually showed great vision, because he did see Tommy Sharp down there on his own. And Tom Sharp was a good player in the local game. We saw in the last game when we were here, when they played the Blues, kicking 3 or 4 goals, I think.
He looks a good player, Huey Curnow.
Yeah, well, Huey Curnow, yeah, he's developed out of there under 19. Trinity guy, as Harry Tinney mentioned this morning. Tom Sharp on the Bulldogs VFL list as well, so he knows his way around the ground.
He looks very confident kicking for goal, doesn't he?
Tom Sharp.
Yeah, Sharp.
So back in the middle, much needed goal to Uni Blacks, as John Canis said. It'll be Tom Williams and Steeman doing battle. Fire throws it. Williams climbs over the top, ducks it down. Corley Beetham picks it up, but he's wrapped up in the tackle by Steeman, and we'll have a secondary ball up. So umpire puts it in the air. Steeman taps it down, but Xavs are doing a good job. They shark the tack and they get it inside 45. Ball in dispute. Margin gets it, turns on a dime, handballs back, gets it to Corley Beetham. Handballs into a bit of traffic. Hard up against the boundary line there. Xavs, they kick inside 45, and Goss takes a strong mark. Great pair of hands, Brendan Goss, hasn't he, John?
He does indeed. And Xavs' commitment to to not giving the ball back is excellent. Like, just a bit of play then. No one panicked with the ball. They held on to it until an option came up, both the first time the play with the ball under pressure with the hands, and then the kick in down to Brendan Goss.
So Goss, for 6 straight goals, he'll kick from 40 metres out, slightly worse than a 45-degree angle, outer side of the ground, crosses the arc of 45, kick on its way. Oh, looks magnificent, straight over the goal umpire's hat. Goss kicks his first for the afternoon, second for the afternoon rather. So 2 to Goss, 3 to Handley, and a single to Josh Douglas makes up Old Xavs 6 straight 36. They lead Uni Blacks 1-2-8 by 28 points. We've travelled almost 20 minutes opening quarter thanks to Sky Home and Dandenong.
Well, he plays with a lot of confidence, Goss, doesn't he? I mean, very clean cut with what he does on the ground. Going to have a big day here, I think.
Back in the middle, Williams. Stephen won the tap that time. In fact, Bargie's opponent out of the way towards Hogan, and then Drysdale goes in to help his teammate, but he's dispossessed and holding the ball. So a good tackle applied there by Matt Douglas. So looking to get on with it quickly, can't find anyone at the moment. So he decides to go straight down the ground towards centre half forward, but working his body beautifully that time was Des. And Des for Uni Blacks brings it towards Tom Sharp, who's worked up the ground. Kicks it towards Curnow. Curnow on the edge of the square. Sends it towards Mahon, who bangs it towards the top of the square. Uni Blacks with a chance here. Turning on a dime very quickly indeed was Richardson. Then got a handball away. Loading up was Robbins. Wobbly one towards the top of the square. Couldn't find Sharp. Also Cruz is there to lend assistance. He applies the tackle that needed to be made to the Old Xaverians player on the outer side of the ground, and the ball will be thrown in about 25 metres around at the left forward pocket for Uni Blacks. They desperately need another score here before quarter time. Stephen at the back, that time won the tap, but it's ended up trundling back over the boundary line.
Matt, just in a bit of play down the ground then, Huey Curnow had the ball and fed it off to Bede Mahon. He hesitated the first time, and in hesitating, the time it took to give the ball off, as we're back in play, there's going to be a ball up, was the time that the amount of time that elapsed until Bede finally get the ball meant that Bede was under pressure when he got it and kicked it, and kicked poorly into the forward line. Whereas if he'd given it straight away, he wouldn't have been under the pressure and they would have been right.
So Blacks get a quick kick out of the pack, goes through for one behind. Didn't catch who that was from.
Just a little thing, but you've got to be instinctive. When you're playing good sides, you've got to be instinctive and take the risk and just give it.
Prowse for Old Xaverians kicks it to the near side. First bit of play right in front of the timekeeper's box here. And the ball beats Nick Wynn for Old Xaverians. And just in front of him going onto the ground, Josh Anderson, as Hugh Curnow comes off for a rest for Uni Blacks. Throw in right in front of us here. Dead centre of the ground, near side wing. Steedman works his way to the front. Tries to fist it down to Hogan with a volleyball-like tap. Comes down to Bruno, who was wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpire crosses himself and will ball it up again. So, ball up. Williams won the tap that time for Old Xaverians. Scrap for it here. Bennett did well to try and scrounge it out, and he did so. Got it to Mahon, who's at the bottom of another pack. And that was a good tackle by Simeopoulos. And the umpire will ball it up again, right in front of the timekeeper's box. Williams tried to tap it down to Beetham. Right up against the boundary line, Denton kept it in play. But they're not able to keep it in play this time. It'll be thrown in near side.
Good tackle by Pitt there from University
Ball hasn't
Blacks.
really gone anywhere, has it,
No.
in the last minute or so?
Right in front of us here on the broadcast wing. So just inside the attacking half of the ground now. Old Xavs, now we've got an infringement in the ruck contest. Free kick going to Blacks now. So Steedman will take it. So a little bit of time for Xavs just to push some numbers back. I've got to say, largely one-on-one footy. Finds a spare man though in the middle. It's Sam Bennett to go back to a teammate. Blacks under a bit of pressure here. Leading player has let up and given a good target, and that's Harry Lay. So he's got a just defensive side of the broadcast wing. Goes with the right boot. Up the line, not a lot to kick to. Ball slips over the back though, comes to Robbins. Robbins goes with the right foot into a man with space, and he's marked.
Tyson Cruz.
So Tyson Cruz.
Oh, no, it's not. Just
Bean,
Tyrone
it's Bean. Tyrone Bean.
So Tyrone Bean has got it.
Same owns boots as Cruz.
Yeah. directly in front, or perhaps just a slight angle, 35 metres out. Good dash there by Robbins to find a bit of space. Kick very well to find his teammate. So Tyrone Boone crosses the arc of 45. Kick on its way from 40. Looking good, straight over the goal umpire's hat. So Blacks get their second. They go to 2-3-15, trailing Old Xavs 6 straight 36. Travelled almost 25 minutes opening quarter thanks to Sky Home and Dandenong, and that score is thanks to Bendigo Private Banking Services.
And good play from Tyrone Bean. He's playing it, up the back flank and read the play, ran down the ground and caught the eye of Robbins when he had the ball switching across the ground, and a really good kick and mark. Good kick from Robbins and safe mark from Tyrone and I was going to say Tyrone Bean, and then he kicked truly. So the Blacks actually in the last 10 minutes of the game have worked their way back into it in general field play. I reckon they're playing okay. They're standing up to the physicality of the Xavs, and they're putting a little bit of pressure. They're winning the ball, but they weren't earlier on.
So it's a 21-point lead to Old Xavs. They get the ball out of the middle this time. We get to left half forward. Man in front takes a good strong back, turns and goes is Williams, squares it to just outside 50, and free kick going for too high. Xavs look to take the advantage, but the umpire says no. So Matt Douglas has got it. Probably just a little too far out to score. Man on the mark's at 48 metres. So Douglas goes inside 45. Free kick for holding. Oh, geez. I tell you what, Matt Margin was pretty sure that free kick was coming his way. I was a little surprised to hear that it was actually going to his opponent.
I reckon Merv must be a bit excited. There's that many players from his island tour playing out there today that he's trying to exert a bit of authority.
So Blacks have worked it to right half back. Harry Lay's got it. So he goes long up the line. Couple of big flies. No one can take it. Front and centre was Blacks, but caught with it was Sam Bennett holding the ball. Free kick going to Xavs, and it's Simiopolis.
He's developed into a good player.
So Simiopolis goes with the right foot. It's a dangerous kick, but it came off beautifully. Comes to Williams. That's a finger-breaking punt. Goss bounces once, gets it now. Wrapped up in a good tackle, though. Umpire calls for it. We'll have a ball up right half forward.
He's good value to watch, Gossy. You can see he planned the exit well and truly, and he actually executed it before he had the ball in control there.
So back into play it goes, and Quayle along the outer side gets it towards Sharp. It deflects off his boot, hit him in the noggin. Then he went after it again. Also with him is Josh Douglas. Real good scrap for it on the outer side. Anyone's ball at the moment. Going in hard was Johnston for Zavarians. He's tackled, and a pack forms. They'll ball it up right next to the major scoreboard here that sees the visitors 6 straight goals, 36. Uni Blacks 2-3-15. Beautiful day for football, hovering around the 25-degree mark in Melbourne. Uni Blacks gets it towards the right forward pocket. Keeping it in play was Dornoff with a fist. They keep it alive. Then just a hack in the air will bring rain. Curnow's underneath of it, and he marks it.
Great mark.
It was a terrific mark. He just had to keep his eye on it, lunged for it, and he's taken the mark. He's just trying to milk a bit of angle here from the umpire. No, he's going to let him go back, and it's not much of an angle at all. He's going to kick it from about 10 metres out, and this should be going through the big sticks. So Hugh Curnow puts it through, and this has been some good resistance from Uni Blacks late in this quarter. 6 straight goals, Old Xaverians. 3 goals, 3-21 Uni Blacks for Bendigo Private Banking Services.
Yeah, they've not only they got themselves back into the game in terms of the field play in the last 10, 12, 15 minutes, but they've got themselves back into it on the scoreboard, now trailing by just the 15 points. They've had 6 scoring shots of Xavs, so only 15 points down. They're doing okay.
So back in the middle of the ground, it's a 15-point lead to the visitors, Old Xavs. Over the top was Shaw. Steeman, though, managed to get it. Bouncing ball, handballs to a teammate. Gets back, though, and it was Bruno who sweeped the back of the pack and did so with a good job. Running now for Xavs. They go inside 45. Gets it out in front of Goss. Doing well there was Blacks, and they clear it from half back to half forward. Looking for Batten, takes a strong mark. Looks to, oh, geez, he was off there. Plays on now. Goes with the right foot into the forward pocket. Not a great kick, though. Xavs player leading out does well. Gets a handle on it. Kicks it back up the line. Batten picks it up now. He's got a little more time. Goes with the right foot Inboard kick. Good spoil there, though, by Paulie Beetham. Does well to hold it up. Stacks on the mill. Umpire says, waits a while, then says, give it to me. We'll have a ball up right half forward for University Blacks. They trail 21 to Xavs 36.
So a ball up on the edge of the square, encroaching on right half forward for Uni Blacks. 100 players like bees to a hive there. Umpire will ball it up again. So coming towards the end of this first quarter and what's been a high-scoring quarter. Good open football. Tap one by Old Xavs that time. Curnow and Quayle at the fall of the ball for Uni Blacks. Trying to interrupt them is Denton. And the umpire will come in again for another stoppage. As Caden Beetham comes on. Simeopoulos comes off for Old Xaverians. And Tom Anderson waiting to come on along with Tim Dynan. The ball comes clean for Old Xaverians. It's put up into the air. A bit of a kick and hope. Uni Blacks have the numbers here, but the ball didn't sit well for Drysdale. And Xaverians through Williams kicks it inside the arc. And that's a bit stiff for Old Xaverians because Goss has picked it up and put it through after the siren. So in the end, a saving grace for the home side. And it's 6 goals, 36 Old Xaverians, 3-3-21 Uni Blacks. For Xaverians, 2 to Brendan Goss, it was almost nearly 3. Matt Handley, 3 and 1 for Denton. And for Uni Blacks, they've shared it about Hugh Curnow, Tyrone Bean and Tom Sharp for Bendigo Private Banking Services. But at quarter time, it is Old Xaverians 6 straight goals, Melbourne Uni 3-3-21, the VAFA match of the round on a Saturday afternoon.